Chest day, everybody's favorite day, September 17th. Workout breakdown. I'm not going to go over the monthly emphasis. That's something we do in class. I'm going to start with the cycle right here. Just a couple little things I want to nitpick for anybody that's doing the cycle, which seems like it's a pretty decent amount of membership base. This will be your first week into your normal lifting right here. Again, 55, 60%, somewhere in there. Again, the reasoning for the flexibility in the percentages is it's group fitness. It's hard to be perfectly precise. I would much rather you guys round up and fail and work your way down and maybe bridge down than lowball yourselves in this particular scenario for sure, given it's a cycle and we're trying to load as much as possible, so the more gross tonnage, the better. But I would much rather prefer you to, again, if you're stuck in the middle, go the 60% route. Work your way down. Obviously, 55% is a perfect number in terms of the dumbbell weights. That is fantastic. Also, same concept. Like, you want to be aiming for 5 sets of 12 if possible. 4 if you're on the newer side. Maybe it's your first chest cycle ever. You don't necessarily need to kill yourself here with all the volume. But then when you guys go into the supplemental lifts at the bottom, again, couple little things right here. The 90-second time recovery is crucial. Like, we've got to stick to that. I think that's, I don't think that's anything new to anybody, but I think reinforcing that goes a really long way. The incline press at 50%. It's a big jump. I even put the plus sign there. I'm really looking for you guys. This would be a scenario the opposite of the beginning here, where I don't need you to necessarily aim for 10. It's almost a benefit for you to aim for 6, 7, 8. And increase the total amount of weight you're moving because of the pause. And the pause is your body's ability to work out of, obviously, the deficit and work on generating force and output, which I think is very helpful when it comes down the line for a 1 rep max. So again, make sure you got a 2 count pause. Remember, the pause is there to eliminate any type of momentum. It kind of creates a whole different variation of a lift from a regular incline press or whatever other variation of press without a pause. The decline press, I got you to failure right here. I think working on capacity and working on your lactic threshold and your time under tension, increasing it. I think failure offers a lot of things, and it does it really efficiently. So we certainly don't need to do any more than 2 sets to failure. It could be argued that even 1 set to failure done right is plenty. That being said, I do find it hard to believe that a lot of people do approach failure correctly. And maybe if you approach it correctly, you're not necessarily executing it 100%. So I kind of like the 2 sets approach a little bit better here. But again, failure, like, you are quite literally trying to go to the point where you can't get the dumbbells up. And no matter how many times we go over this, human instinct, I understand that, we assumptively fail. And when we do that, whatever you want to tell me, I've done this enough to know that you probably left, a rep, a half rep, a couple of reps on the table. And you guys, again, good opportunity to really work on approaching and executing failure as efficiently as possible, which again is going to as many reps as possible until you quite literally can't get the dumbbells off your chest. So again, failure, then there's a sum to failure. Try your best to work on actual failure. You'll see if a 3-minute time recovery, you need all of that time. It could be argued we need 4 minutes there, but obviously time is of the essence here when we're in class. And then you guys will notice also prior to this week, on week 2, you had some overhead stuff. I'm kind of leaning this way. I'm kind of just going through the numbers, the total volume we have here, the repetition of everything, how much weight you're ultimately going to end up moving by the end of this. And I think just giving a few minutes to work on, like, the bar hang last week and the overhead mobility this week. It's nothing specific, although I guess a bar hang is pretty specific. But the PVC overhead mobility, it's really just opening up your shoulders, opening up your chest, breaking up a little bit of that lactic. Obviously, all the blood's pumping there. You're going to get a nice chest pump and tricep pump out of chest day. Let's open yourself up, work on maintaining our mobility and not get too lopsided in the modality in which we're approaching for the day, which again, with all this type of pushing and stuff, a lot of us already have kind of upper cross syndrome. Shoulders are starting to round a little bit. We'd have underactivation on the backside of our shoulders. Like, I think we're just adding a few minutes in here of mobility work, whether it's the bar hang or the PVC, your choice, and just open yourself up after all of this pressing is definitely worth that amount of time. So that's why that's there, just FYI. Now, the actual class, we've seen this structure before. This is not the first time. I love it. This one is written on. I need to do a better job about writing down repeat workouts in the sense of, like, there's a lot of people that have said I'd like to do that again. It's really cool. And I don't write it down and I can just never find it. This is one of the ones I did write down from quite a while ago. This is like a year ago. or longer, honestly. I think it might have been longer than that. Where a lot of people, great feedback. People really enjoyed it. I remember coaching this, and it was really cool, and then doing it myself. It's just a cool way to structure a workout. So we brought it back, and I hope people enjoy it this time around as much as they did last time. But I think just for clarity purposes, there's a lot going on here, and I know it's a lot to kind of take in during the demonstration, especially when there's also a monthly emphasis and a cycle. So the best I can, I'm going to try to explain this. You're going to choose either running or rowing. All right, either one of them are fantastic. So really, it's your choice as to what you'd like to put more time into. Now stick to one. Don't do both in the same thing. Like, we want to accumulate distance on either the treadmill or the rower. All right, so they're both fantastic. So we got that out of the way. And then what you're going to do is everything on the left-hand side, the 2, 4, 6, the time markers, the minute markers, are when you're going to get off your piece of equipment and go and do the correlating lift. So from 0 to 2 minutes, you're going to run for as far as you can. You're going to accumulate as much distance as you can in those 2 minutes. At the 2-minute mark, you're going to hop off the treadmill. You're going to come over to the floor with a little bit of haste, and you're going to, at 50%, do 15 to 20 reps of a chest press. As soon as you finish that, dumbbells are down, you're back to the treadmill, you're going to run as far as you can, accumulate as much distance as you can until the 4-minute mark, all right? And we're going to follow this trend. At the 4-minute mark, you'll hop off. You'll then go into an incline press at a lighter weight, 40%. Same concept, finish it, high volume, 15 to 20 reps. We all know that. Relative to our normal lifting. And then you're gonna go back to the treadmill, run to the 6-minute mark, same idea, hop off, do your decline press, but this time you're gonna superset it with push-ups. So you're gonna do your decline press, which I left the gate open to maintaining kind of the incline weight. In all fairness, the decline should be heavier than the incline weight. So when I do this, I will definitely try to use the same weight for decline as I did the flat bench. That's just me. That does not mean you have to do that. And then you're going to superset with the push-ups. The push-ups don't need to be unbroken. There's no unbroken there. So you have time to get to whatever rep count it is that you would like to achieve. Obviously, you don't want to be, polarizing us. You don't want to take all the time. But you do now have on the superset one 4 minutes, right? So you don't have to get back off the treadmill until the 10-minute mark. So you do have more time, a lot more time, double the amount of time to get through your superset, get back, and it's another opportunity, if we're looking at it this way, to accumulate more distance, because our ultimate goal here is to accumulate as much distance as humanly possible while maintaining the rep count and the percentages attached to this, all right? And as you guys are going down, you'll notice that it follows the exact same trend. Flat bench, incline press, decline, superset, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, okay? So we're going to follow that same concept all the way down. The only thing that's going to change and what you need to think about ahead of time, especially if you're watching this video, is that the rep counts also drop as you go. But you're going to try to hold the same weights the whole way down. So whatever you do for the flat bench, all the way down. Same concept with the incline and the decline. So you do want to put a little bit of thought into what percentage it is that you're going to choose, because, again, you're trying to hold those weights all the way down, which, again, I made it so it should be pretty feasible to do so as the rep counts continue to decrease as we work our way down. And again, you'll notice at the 22-minute mark, the push-ups also decrease on the upper end, so the ceiling comes down. The core choice, of course, pick whatever you want. I would do the same thing for both of those. I would not mix and match them. It's only 40 total reps, so again, same movement. And again, outside of that, pretty cool. Again, I'm excited about it. It's a great way to mix and match aerobic and lifting. You're gonna get a ton of volume on the lifting, and you should accumulate, a decent amount of distance, calories, meters, whatever it is you're looking at on the aerobic side. So I hope I nailed everything on that. I hope, again, those of you that watch these videos, it gives you an opportunity to prepare and kind of think about some of these things going into the class, which, again, the more answers you have, the more precise you are, the more structured you are with your workout, the more effective it's going to be. It's really that simple.